Hello students, in this video I have brought the explanation of the poem My Mother at 66. If you want to study theme, message, form, appropriateness of the title and poetic devices used in the poem, you can watch the last video. The link is given in the description box of this video. Now students, let's start the explanation of the poem My Mother at 66 stanza wise. Very first we will study introduction of the poem My Mother at 66. Aging is a natural process. The same is true about children's affection and concern for the elders. The poem My Mother at 66, rendered in blank verse, deals with the theme of filial affection or human relationship. The sensitive poetess chooses the moment of parting to reveal how painful the parting from her aged mother can be. She is leaving for some distant destination. She drives along with her mother to the airport. The elderly lady is not quite healthy, though she is only 66. She looks sickly and pale. The daughter has a nagging fear that mother would not live long enough to receive her on her next visit. She sees the young trees and little children running merrily. This makes her all the more concerned about the failing health of her Amma. Nevertheless, she bids her goodbye at the airport with a smile and a hope to see her soon. Students, now we will focus on poem outline. The poem has been written in lyrical idiom and it brings out the complexities of human relationships. The poet had gone to meet her mother and is now driving back to the airport. On the other hand, she notices the pale face of her mother and is struck with an instant realization that her mother is very old. The poet is very upset. What is significant about the poem is that the whole poem is a single sentence punctuated by commas. Now I am going to give line by line explanation of the poem. I have divided the poem into 4 short paragraphs so that you can understand the poem easily. Let's start the first stanza. I am going to read the stanza 1 and then I'll give you the explanation. Stanza 1. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Students, let's see the explanation of the poem. The poet had gone to visit her parents' home near Cochin. On Friday morning, she was returning. On her way to the airport, she noticed her mother sleeping beside her in car. Her mouth was open, her face pale and lifeless, just like a dead body. It perhaps expressed the pain she felt because of separation from her daughter. Let's jump on to the next stanza. Stanza 2. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Okay student, this is the stanza 2. Let's start the explanation of this stanza. The poet was alarmed by the sudden realization that old age had crept upon her mother. It was a reality that found hard to accept. The poet was pained to see her mother's colorless, pale face, to take her attention away from the disturbing thought. She looked outside the car. Because the car was moving, the young green trees appeared to be running in the opposite direction. She also saw a group of children rushing out of their homes to play. All this probably reminded her of her childhood when her mother was young. The young sprinting tree represented how fast time had flown by. The children represented youth, which was full of life and energy. Both the young trees and the children presented a sharp contrast to the mother sitting beside her. Now let's see stanza 3. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon. Now, students, listen to the explanation of this stanza. The young children and trees were able to divert her thoughts away. But after reaching the airport and passing through security check, the poet again looks at her mother, who was standing a few yards away from her. Her mother looked lifeless and dull like a late winter's moon, which cannot be seen clearly because of mist and fog. Now, students, let's jump onto the next stanza, stanza 4. I am reading the poem lines. And felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear, but all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was a smile and a smile and a smile. Now, students, pay attention on the explanation of these lines. Once again, she was pained to see her mother in this condition, as she was going away and leaving her mother. Her old familiar pain, her childhood fear that she would lose her mother, suddenly came back to her. So she tried to hide her emotions behind her smile. She did not want to reveal her feelings to her old mother and bids her farewell with a smile. She gave hope to her mother and herself by saying that they would meet again and keep on smiling. Thank you, students. This is the complete explanation of the poem. For the discussion of textual questions and extra questions of this poem, you may write in the comment box. For the explanation of the rest poems and lessons of class 12th English Core syllabus, you can subscribe the channel, and for regular updates, please press the bell icon. If you like the video, please share with your friends and others. Thank you for watching the video.